Hi all, Hal here with more Space Engineers, and we've gotten a bit of work done off camera, and we're going to get a bit more done on camera. Talk about some of the changes. They did just release the new update for Space Engineers, and we've got the new, what is it called? The accessory pack, or whatever they're calling it, the fashion pack. Oh, so we'll talk about what's going on, what the changes are, and hopefully get a little bit more done on the ship today. But first, we have to get started. So let's go. So, happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully you're having a fantastic week thus far and are ready for some fun this weekend. So, for those who are probably paying attention to Space Engineers and the development over at Keen Software, basically what they've done is they've added some new things. We've actually got textures now for the blocks. You not only can paint them, but you can actually change the surface texture. So, in the new system, or in the new patch that went live last night, at the time you're watching it, tonight for the time I'm recording it, they actually have given us a new UI. So some of the things you're going to notice are a little weird, but what they've done is now we have, basically you can use a traditional block, which is no skin. You can then, or you can add carbon fiber, which is what you see in front of you here. There's a clean armor and digital camouflage. So just to give you an idea what some of this is going to look like, let's grab something that's usually a little bit clean. I haven't tried this with the blast door blocks yet. We're going to go for the carbon fiber. Just to give you an idea what that's going to look like. See if we can get a good glimpse of that. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see the texture all that well, but it's a woven carbon fiber. I mean, it's kind of interesting. All right. We'll talk about that in our UI in a second. Okay, so we're going to use same color. This is the clean armor now. You know, we'll leave that as a regular. And then this way you can see them all side by side. Oh, keep doing it. And then the digital camouflage. So the digital camouflage is the one that's going to be obviously the most readily apparent change. But if you notice on the standard, like no surfacing, no skin texture being applied, or no different texture being applied, there are little impurities and like nicks and things. You can really see it when you're looking at over in the sun. You see how the glare catches all these like little impurities and stains and stuff. On the clean armor, you don't have any of that. It just has a material finish, which is basically a rough steel, it looks like, versus the carbon fiber that actually helps pull out the detail a little bit. And then the digital camouflage. Now, these are all recolorable, obviously, so any color that you set in here will be applied. You can change the texture if you want, just by coming in. If you have the same color selected, you can come over and just repaint it just like you can anything else. But this gives you a little bit of option when you are doing your designs and things now, because now that you have texture, from what I have seen so far, it adds just a little bit of nuance in the painting so that things aren't necessarily going to be just a flat texture anymore. And I'm really happy to see that. So congrats to Keen for getting that working, and awesome job, guys. Now, one of the other things that they've introduced, keep doing it, is we now have some new suits available. So there is the proper suit, which is part of the, this is in the fashion pack, I believe, the new DLC, as is the chef suit. So for this, it's got a bit of detailing on it. This is the proper suit. I'm actually going to be using this one, I think, because it's the whole black and white motif without being a cow suit. So, oh, and then just for comparison, that's the cow suit, which, if you notice, is a full suit. Actually, no, it's not. Okay, it's just the pants and chest. But they've added a little bit, looks like they've added a little bit of texture. It might have been there before, but I don't remember it being so pronounced. But yeah, I'm liking the new suit. Now, they do have two premium suits. There is I think it's called the fiber suit, which is a dark motif with emissive highlighting on it. There's stripes that run around it, and the faceplate, I think, is a little bit different. And then there is another one that I cannot remember the name of, but it's basically the opposite. It's a leitmotif suit. Now, I know that the leitmotif version is recolorable. I don't know if the fiber suit is. So I apologize for not being able to remember these names. So, and then the other new suit, this is the second of the suits that come with the DLC. This is the chef suit, as seen on intergalactic food television. And one of the things that I do like is that even though there's a lot of repetition in the design, the overall design, you do get some nice detailed changes, and I really do like the detail change. Like here, if you notice, you now have the white stripe on the harness with a black outline. Well, I should say black outline. And then on the proper suit, it's all white. So it's little details like that that just make everything so much more fun. So we're going to go back to here, because I like these gloves better. And change that helmet out. So that's the helmet closed now. And I honestly will probably get those other two standalone suits as well, because I actually like the way that they look. I just didn't have a chance to get them before I started recording. I wanted to get all of this in because we've got a few things to go over. So that's most of the, the fun stuff, right? I shouldn't say the fun stuff. It's most of the doesn't really impact gameplay for the most part. It's a new suit. It's a new skin. It looks good. So we now have small grid cryopods. Now, I mounted this one on the back here just because I could. What they have done, actually, let me bring it up here, is, so now there is the old large grid that you're familiar with, and there is a small grid variant. Now, what's nice about this is that the small grid variant has two connectors on the bottom and one connector on the back, so you can actually run this thing if you wanted to do it as like a say an escape pod of some kind. You could have your cryopod mounted to the top of this, and then you have your O2 generator below it, and then have like a tank or something, or batteries for atmospheric, and then have atmospheric thrusters, and then attach like a parachute block to the back of it or something. Just something it gives you new options. And the nice thing about these is that they are functioning cryopods, so you can be tied in. I do love the can't sleep, it's daytime. I will try to remember in this video to do this again at night and see what happens. I'm kind of curious to see what it says. But you do have small ship cryopods officially now, finally. So for those who are doing things in multiplayer where it becomes a little bit more of just not a set piece, But man, I really like the fact that you've got just so much visibility in this. I almost want to make that a cockpit. Wouldn't that be awesome as a small cockpit? Like that, just have it actually mounted as a small cockpit. I think we're going to have to put a call out to the modder community. See if somebody wants to turn that from a cryopod into a cockpit. Because I have a feeling that would look... I mean, look at that. That would actually be a really nice industrial cockpit. Huh. Alright, I'm going to stop fanboying on it. Alright, so now that we have all of that sorted out, I'm going to leave some of that stuff there. Let's come up here, because I'm going to drop stuff off, and it also gives us a chance to talk about the new UI. Alright, so if you remember previously, if you wanted to move things, you either had to click and drag, or you had to do like shift or shift control if you wanted to move large things, but you do everything one at a time. You can now deposit everything except your tools with a single click into whatever container you have highlighted at that point in time. Now, if you're using the build planner, which we will talk about shortly, you can actually transfer the things from your build planner over as well. There is the add components to production queue. So if you are doing a build plan, and you say, you know, let's see, is that... I'm trying to remember where that is. Ah, okay. So when you're in your block menu, for me it's default G. You come down here to the build planner. So you select the block you want, we'll say the hydrogen engine, and you add it to your build planner. You want to add a couple of turbines. There you go. Look at that. And when you mouse over it, it will tell you what you need in order to build it. And now this is going to be based off of whatever the default selection here is. So generally speaking, that's going to be large grid, unless it is a small grid only item. I'm kind of curious if it will. It does. So it actually pulls custom blocks as well. So as long as the custom block has its stuff defined, I like that. So then in order to get rid of it, you just right click on it and that'll take it out of here. We know we're going to need to build some doors. So let me grab one of these here. So we're going to add that to the build planner. Alright, so if you don't use Easy Inventory, what you should be able to do is once you add something to the build planner, you come over here, you get into your grid, your inventory system, and you can now withdraw the things for your build planner. So if I knew I needed to build 10 doors, I have one door there, it's in my build planner, I can just do a control left click and it gives me the parts for 10 of whatever the item is, in this case 10 doors. If I've realized I've grabbed too many, I've gone ahead, I've welded up like 3 doors, I don't need those parts anymore, I just come back and say okay, deposit everything back in. So I have to say, I am really liking the update. There are some really good things that they've done. And then if you want to add the last feature that we didn't really talk about is add things to the your production queue. So if you have here, so let's say we've only got 10 computers left and I need to add something to production, right? We could say, you know, just like this, we go over into production, it's queued them up. So I'm kind of curious to find out, and I'll play with it a little bit more because I'm wondering if the new system will allow us to do like shift controls to queue up 1,000 of them at a time instead of queuing up, you know, 1, 2, 3, whatever. So if you are you... Oh, let's get back. Ah, too many buttons. Okay, so if you have things in your build planner and you want to queue them up when you're in the inventory grid, you just use this one. And then again, it tells you if you want to do shift, if you want to add the components to production, shift middle mouse, shift control middle mouse to do 10 times whatever the final good is. So, alright, so now that we have all of that, we want to take you out. There we go. Alright, so now we just need to, you know what, I need to grab plates. Alright. So, sorry for being scattered. It's not quite 1 o'clock in the morning here, so... So I'm a little wonky this morning. We're just gonna grab 1,000 plates because I'm not planning on doing a whole lot of piping right now. So we did play around with some of the painting. All of our fuel tanks are this nice bright orange, safety orange, and we did do them up as carbon fiber. And we have little details like that tucked in everywhere in the ship, or they will be tucked in the ship. For this one, this is the clean skin. All of our thrusters are using that particular skin, and what I will probably end up doing is the thrusters down here on the bottom. I'm thinking I'm going to use the normal skin for. That way they look a little bit more beat up than the ones up on top because, you know, they're closer to the ground. All right. Okay, so we need to start thinking about the larger ship in general. And what we were talking about before is this is an airlock area. Actually, you know what? Where are you? Alright. And we're gonna go like so, and texture. There we go. Alright, so yeah, like I was saying, this is basically an airlock area. It's not meant as a crew hab space. Basically, you're just coming in, grabbing what you need to get. If there's anything here, it'll cycle the pressure. Once pressure is equalized, you come over here, do what you need to do to go out, mine, whatever, come back, reverse the process, right? Very simple system. Not meant to be anything overly complex. But that also means that we have a passageway going this way, but not forward. And so I'm trying to figure out, this is one of the reasons why I was asking, did folks want this to be forward, midship, or aft? Because that'll influence which way we set things up in here. And so what I'm thinking is we move this block, which is the armory block, next to the door over here, and that opens us up for a passage to move forward. I'm here. So if we do this, now I want to make sure we have things connected a couple of different places because we're going to be cutting things off here. And I want to make sure that we're not basically screwing ourselves later. That would be bad. So you're going to go that way. You're going to go that way. And you are going to be here. Make sure that that's right side up. Alright, and then this allows us to have a walkway going out this way. Alright, so now I don't know if we're going to end up using this or not. it really is just kind of a placeholder. It gives us options. One of the things that I do want to do though for right now is we're going to work on this area a little bit. So I'm going to get a few of these in here. We're going to go a little bit more. Alright, and we need to be able to turn 90, so that's going to be this one. There you go. Let's see. So you're gonna go that way, but that turns the way we don't want it to turn. What I might need to do is just, for right now, let's just go ahead and throw that in there. I mean, I guess, you know what we could do? We just want to do it and be done with it. So we go like so. And you're going to go one more. You know what? Let's bring that back one more, shall we? It's always good to have a little bit of extra room in there because you just never know when something's going to happen. And it's going to be whenever you think that you're safe that it's going to happen. So that's the center, 1, 2, 3, and then turn. 2, 3, and turn. Alright. Right. Okay, should be good. And we're going to do the same here. One more. And remember, this is going to be basically a different side of the ship. So it does not have to be pretty right now. We're just getting an idea of what this area is probably going to look like. Oh, let's see if we go. Do we want that? Okay, come here. You're gonna be there, right? Because what I'm thinking is we don't care so much about the general shape because we're going to come back and reskin all of it. But we want to get, I should say, we don't care too much about the specific shape. We care more about the general shape currently. So it's going 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Right? So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And that comes down like so. Just for this one. I mean, I guess I could do this instead. I mean, that gives us that. Then I need to change the lower blocks. Oh no, I know what I can do with that. And then just for now, we're just going to corner these off here a little bit. And then the idea is that basically it gives us a little bit of room for the thrusters to operate and, you know, hopefully not destroy our ship. So we did from the corner up. To in line with that, which is where we want it. Okay. There we go. And you are going to be like so. And I'm gonna rotate those. Yeah, I'm kind of liking the way that's coming out. So we'll probably continue that line all the way up. I don't know. Because what we're talking about right now is having something that does along the lines of that. And did we want to go straight cube in the corner? Because then we have that become an option. We're going to need that on this side. So it's going to do something like this. And then obviously this is carried forward as well. We're just trying to get the idea for this thing lined up. Ooh, a little chunky today. Alright. And I kind of like the way that this whole thing came through. Oh. Oh no. Because I mean, we could just throw this back here real quick. And like I said, we always have the option to come back and change this stuff up. So, we'll see how this goes. We have a giant cube. Okay. Alright, so if we do that, we then have this. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Do I want to do that though? Let's see here. Turn it off for a second. So those are there. That rotates up. So if we do that. Alright, so if we do this instead, damn it. One thing they haven't fixed is the damn block placement. Alright. Alright, so we need you there, you there, you there, okay. And then that means we can actually get rid of it. Not like I wouldn't actually end up using it anyway, but... to clean up our mess. Alright. So if we do, I guess we could just go ahead and do come on, thank you. Like I said, this is not intended to be, you know, the final design or anything like that. Do keep that in mind. We're really just trying to get an idea of, do we like the way that that's going to look? And I'm thinking yes. Yeah, what would be nice is if the block skin that you can apply, if that actually changed the characteristics of the block that it was applied to. How would that be? You know, that'd be kind of cool, right? So let's go ahead and get you. A couple of more blocks to weld up here. And again, just trying to give us an idea of what we would have with this. Steel plates. Let's go grab a couple more steel plates. We're just gonna grab like 1,000. Doesn't really matter. How's our hydrogen doing? Ooh, good timing, Hal. Okay. Let's go ahead and drop this over here. We're going to let that recharge real quick. Get in there, thank you. Go ahead and just grab another 1,000 plates. So, yeah, like I said, we're just trying to get an idea. Let me know what you think, if you like this design or not. But I'm thinking I kind of like it. So what I'll probably do is I'm going to plan to do some greebling around this area. And we'll probably do a little bit of greebling back here, so where we end up with something like, say,
meteor storm inbound.
You know what? Do that instead. Ah, some bitch. Come on. So you end up with that kind of like the strut work. And then we'll do the same over here where we'll say on either side of that one. Okay, so you are in line. We went. So if we go 1, 2. And we're going to do the same over here. So it's going to be 1, 2. Let's see how that looks. How's that looking? I'm thinking I like the way that that's coming out. And I like how the beam actually carries through over here too. Yeah, I'm thinking that's going to work really well. Okay. And like I said, this is just kind of a placeholder thing. If we're going to do these. I'm going to have that run. Which, funny enough, actually works out pretty well. Because see, now we have that in place. This is going to have to be... We're going to have to swap this out for heavy armor blocks because we have that thruster right there. Well, the hangar space isn't... This isn't airtight. And it's not planned to be airtight. So instead of running it that way, what if we mix this up a little bit? So instead of having it like that, we do it Really? All of the spots for me to get stuck in, and they stuck me in there. And so what I'm thinking here is we have you. There we go. Let's see what we're doing here as we take that. Are we good on that side? We're good on that side. We're good on this side. You, let's go like so. And then we go here. Come here. And then obviously this just attaches through wherever it needs to. And so since we decided it didn't need to have, it doesn't need to be airtight, it gives us a little bit of flexibility in here with what we play around with in our design. And this is going to be... Wow. Really? Burned through all those plates already? Holy crap. How's our H2 doing? It's fine. Alright. We're going to grab another 1,000 plates. I'd like to get a little bit of this done so that you can see a little bit more of what I'm thinking, hopefully. And that one, okay. And then we're going to go... we could do those. Where it's going to basically use 4 of these. And then we do that. See where I'm going with this? And then we leave this portion basically open. So that it vents into space. I don't know. So what I'm thinking is...
Energy low.
Oh, let me turn off the light. What I'm thinking is that we could do something like have gyros up here. Do a layer of skin for the ship over that. But I'm not sure. I'll have to give that a little bit of a thought. So, but I'm liking the concept of this whole little space back here. So I think we're going to run with that. Now the question is do we want to do that or that? Because I mean, it's close enough we could actually do that. I mean, there's always the possibility of grinding it back down to just the skeletal frame. Let's see, which way do I like this? I think I like it that way. I think this ends up being a slightly more finished look. But again, we could go so far as to just leave that in as a base framework to give us some scaffolding in here. Let's get rid of that, get rid of that. Yeah, I'm kind of liking the way that that came out, actually. Really, the only thing else I would do in here is put some lighting in. So, I think what we're going to do is we're going to run with this at least up to this point. I may end up, well, I shouldn't say may, I will most likely end up having to rework some of this portion. But that does give us quite a bit in the way of options as to how the ship is going to be laid out. So what I'm thinking is we're going to do a front mount bridge, which will be probably out here somewhere. If I was to take a guess. Yeah, something like that. So I'm thinking we're going to do command and habitation up front, which means this will probably get restyled a little bit. It might not. I don't know yet. We're definitely going to have to get from over here somehow into there, so... Yeah, so we're gonna have a little bit of planning to do. Like I said, I'll probably just take, at least on this side, out. Yeah, I don't know, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this. Alright, so we have run over quite a bit today. So I'm going to thank you all for stopping in. We're going to call this one here. So if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to throw them down in the section below. You know the rules, right? And the routine. I'm actually thinking we may end up swapping the door that we have from over here to over here. So I may have to flip a few things in the ship's both ships. But we can make this work. And the reason for it is because I kind of want this to be
Energy
a little bit
low.
more separated, a little bit better separated between the pylon and the outrigging engine system and this area. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. So anyway, thanks again for stopping in today. Hope you enjoyed it. We will... Sorry, it's really late. I just completely lost my train of thought. Oh. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for stopping in. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you back here next time, and hope you enjoy the rest of your week and have a fantastic weekend. As always, folks, take care. Be safe out there, everybody. Yeah, we're gonna have to... I don't know. We're either gonna have to merge, like, blend this portion into that portion, or leave it separated and just have a couple of pylons connecting in a few spaces. Yeah, definitely something to think about. All right.